Today we're celebrating 15 years of fear, and you can too. Here at Judventures we've been lucky enough to have experienced over 100 scare mazes across multiple scare events over the last 10 years, even way before starting this channel, so I'd like to think that we've picked up a thing or two about attending these events, and we want to share what we've picked up with you, which is the entire reason for this series, where we'll be going through all of the major UK screen parks that we'll be attending this year and letting you know exactly what you can expect when you attend too. Now tonight we're going to be stepping into the playground of Lord Fear himself with people like Jack, Eugene and Uncle Bobo, because we're going to take a look at a Yorkshire classic tonight, and that is Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park.
World! Hello! Hiya! How are you doing? Come down to Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park to come and see Uncle Bobo.
You heard it here first.
But before we dive in, we'll be visiting plenty of UK screen parks across this October scare season, and we'll be bringing full and detailed vlogs from each of them when we do, including in-maze filming at the vast majority of them. So if you'd like to follow us across that journey, then please by all means hit that subscribe button. And if you do find today's video useful, then please share it so other people can find it useful too, and bob a like on it, because it really does help a channel like ours out. With that being said, let's take a look at what you can expect from Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park in 2025. Now first up, what is Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park? Well, Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park is a classic screen park based here in Yorkshire, situated quite aptly on Hell Lane near Wakefield. As of this year, it's been delivering 15 years of fear and terror to unsuspecting victims. And with constant improvements and additions each and every one of those 15 years, it's eventually become a mainstay here on the channel. Now for the event dates and times. Yorkshire Scare Grounds opens up on the 10th of October and it'll run through all the way until the 2nd of November. Now, entry times, the doors open at 6:30 and you will have staggered entry all the way through until the event closes, with the last entry being at 9:30. The bars and the eating areas will stay open later at the end, but it's typically somewhere around the 10:30-11 PM where everyone will leave. Well, there's only one type of ticket for this event. There is no form of fast pass, there's no express, it's just the one standard entry ticket, and that's going to range from £29.68 in early October through to £31.80 from around the 16th of October onwards. For age and accessibility, Yorkshire Scare Grounds doesn't actually have an age limit for the people to enter into its event. They leave this down to parental discretion, but they do suggest that because the event is of an intense nature and does have some adult themes, that it's probably suitable for people 12 years and above. But as with all the other events, anyone that is under the age of 16 must be accompanied by an adult who is over the age of 18. In terms of accessibility, there's no real specific information aimed at people with neurodivergence, but much like all the other events here in the UK, there is loud noises, there's intense scares, there is uneven pathways, and there's frightful scenes, gore and unexpected environmental factors that sort of jump out on you, and therefore it probably wouldn't be particularly suitable for someone who has neurodivergence. However, if you'd like to see kind of what you can expect, in-maze filming isn't allowed at Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park, but you can always head on over and watch our vlog of the past few years to get an idea for the character interaction that goes on there and a feel for the event to find out whether you think it might be too intense or not for you. In terms of mobility, unfortunately, this walkthrough is set across a forest land. There's a huge number of steps to get down to the actual walkthrough. There's steps in and out of houses. There's concrete pathways up hills leading to the mazes, and therefore, with the uneven footing in that forest as well, it's not particularly suitable for anyone in a wheelchair or for any form of mobility issues where you may need to use a walking aid. Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park is set up a lot differently than other parks out there. There is no central hub, so you won't be going into an area and picking and choosing what you go through first. You arrive at the event and you essentially walk straight into a queue line, and you'll be waiting in that queue line anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes for your turn to go through the walkthrough. And this is done so they can batch people and ensure that everyone gets a fair experience and that there's no two batches bumping into each other along the way. Now, what you'll find is that they actually include a ton of actors in these queue lines. It's an extremely immersive and interactive queue line with at least 5 to 7 characters that will spend the entire time there with you. They'll be scaring you, they'll be interactive with you. There's times for opportunities and photos with them. It really does feel like part of the experience, and there's never been a time in that queue where I felt bored and I felt frustrated waiting to get to the doors, because those characters just keep it immersive and entertaining, and it really is a fun experience. Now, in terms of the experiences that you're going to have when you're at Yorkshire Scare Grounds Screen Park, first up, the 3 scare zones, which you have Freak Show. Now, Freak Show is a crazy clown walkthrough that's become a classic staple of the event. It's undergone many name changes in the past, but essentially it's one of the first experiences that you'll have. There's plenty of good theming dotted around the forest, with one central piece of theming being almost an overturned train carriage, which really does give that visual spectacle for one of the first experiences that you have when you go there. And then, brand new for 2025 is the Cult of the Farm. Now, this is a brand new walkthrough that appears to be replacing the Harvest, which is a little bit of a shame because scarecrows are one of my favourite Halloween horror tropes. They are utterly terrifying yet utterly brilliant at the same time. And the Harvest unfortunately looks to be going to be replaced with this hillbilly walkthrough, this old American cornfield style Cult of the Farm walkthrough. Now, if the imagery and iconography is anything to go by, we could see those big butch hillbilly pig style monsters in here, but you'll have to wait and see. But the imagery does make this look like it's going to be a decent replacement for the Harvest. And then you have Containment. Now, despite its simplicity, this area was one of our favourites last year at the event, and this is because it was such an improvement from the previous years. In previous years there was a couple of overturned cars and 2 or 3 characters, and it did seem like very much dead space and a wasted area, and last year that was completely flipped. Brand new concreted paths had been laid, tents had been erected and filled with fog, and then there was actors galore everywhere. Hazmat suits, that real toxic feeling. It was very much such an improvement on the previous years that it was hard not to get excited about it. And this year I am looking forward to seeing it again, really taking it in and seeing if there's any further improvements been made. But then you'll come on to the scare mazes, for which Yorkshire Scare Grounds has 4 scare mazes this year, and the first is Diglock 2. Diglock 2 is the first of the mazes you'll come across as you enter into a crumbling industrial building filled with the forsaken cast-offs of Nazi experiments using the Diglock device. This is a short but excellent first maze at the event and really whets your appetite for what's to come. The next maze on our list for me is kind of a mixture between a scare zone and a scare maze, because in large parts it is outdoors, but this is Les Morts Vivants. Now, possibly the biggest change this year is that the various incarnations of Whitechapel have come to an end, and they're being replaced with Les Morts Vivants, which loosely translates as the Living Dead or the Walking Dead. And it's an area of Yorkshire Scare Grounds which is one of the most beautiful that the event have. It's got extremely detailed and ever improving set pieces that makes you feel like you're directly in Victorian England. It's simply stunning, and a brand new theme in here is something that just fills me with excitement. We've had various incarnations of Whitechapel over the years, and to see something new in there, it really is an exciting prospect. And then we move on into Yorkshire Scare Grounds Pièce de Résistance, which is its show building. So as you're walking up to these show buildings, it has such a phenomenal facade. This entire building has been recreated to look like an old American style hotel, and it's been used for various kind of mazes over the last few years, most recently being the Krampus maze, and contains a secondary maze in the back of it as well. It really is beautiful, and it's just as beautiful on the inside too. They really have put every single inch of detail in there, that every single inch of it is just absolutely stunning. If there was somewhere in the UK at this moment that I would like to do a behind the scenes tour of, it would be this building, because there is so much to see. And inside this incredible show building will be the Infernal Inn, and it's got that elegant theming on the inside with perfect places for scares to happen, and it's going to slowly transform on the inside into an industrial nightmare that's got that Elm Street inspired boiler room feel to it. It really is simply fantastic on the inside, and it doesn't matter what kind of characters they put in there, the architecture lends itself to almost any style of maze. And then this will lead on to the final maze of the night, which is a rebranded asylum from the previous years, and this is Old Mercy. This is housed in that same building, and guests will visit the Old Mercy Hospital, but if you do visit, you might never check out. It typically has great theming and fantastic use of smell pods in this area. The only thing that it's suffered with in the last couple of years has been very low lighting, which doesn't really allow you to take in the immersive theming that they've worked so hard to create in this area. But either way, it's going to be fantastic, it's going to get some great jumps, and it's going to lead into one of the best endings to a scare event that you can possibly have. However, I'm not going to spoil that for you. I'm just going to say, make sure that you wear your brown pants. Now, what amenities and entertainment do they have at Yorkshire Scare Grounds Scream Park? Well, once you've finished the walkthrough, there's actually plenty. First, you will go out into a forecourt area that contains plenty of covered seating, and it's got some fantastic street food and sweet options for you to grab something to eat, refuel after the exciting time that you've had within the walkthrough itself. It's got a brand new purpose-built merch store, it's got a great photo booth in there which is literally a scream, and the entire place is filled with wandering scare actors. The actors that are in there that play the likes of Lord Fear, Jack, Eugene, Uncle Bobo and many more, they've perfected these characters over the last 15 years, and they really are spectacular at what they do. Staying around for a bite to eat and a drink after you've visited Yorkshire Scare Grounds is just as exciting and just as immersive as when you're actually in the walkthrough as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure in future years they could probably get rid of the walkthrough and just sell tickets to come and have a drink with these guys. It really is that much fun afterwards. But not only do you have that forecourt area with the guys hanging around, but you also have, over the last couple of years, this self-built Jack's Backyard Bar, which is a fantastic bar area. It's perfectly lighted, it's got some great seating opportunities, and you have the live entertainment stage, which has some fantastic entertainment on and is growing and getting better by the year. As my final thoughts, Yorkshire Scare Grounds Scream Park, it might not be the most budget heavy attraction that you're going to visit this year. They are restricted compared to some of the other giants out there in the UK scare industry, but budget doesn't always mean better. These guys have heart and a genuine desire to please and entertain people, and that's what makes this place truly unique. We love returning each and every year. This is one of the few events that we actually attended way before we started Judventures, and will continue long after Judventures has finished as well. It really does feel like a home away from home in the scare industry, and the guys, as I say, corny as it sounds, they pretty much feel like family at this point. We have such a wonderful time, and that's just how they make everyone feel, not just us. I would highly recommend going, as I would with any scream park that we go to. I would highly recommend going once and always trying it out for yourself. But this is definitely one I can see you returning to year after year. It just is that damn good. If you found this video useful, please by all means hit that like button, it does mean the world to me, and share amongst your friends so they can find use in this too. Now, we'll be visiting almost all of the scares on our list this scare season, and we'll be bringing you full and detailed vlogs from each and every one of them, including in-maze filming at the vast majority of them. So if you'd like to see that, then I urge you, hit that subscribe button, because you really don't want to miss them out. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have found it useful. I've been Darren. You've been watching Judventures, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.
Ride with Judventures, you know the name. Theme parks and attractions and kick-ass days. You got the big bearded husband, a beautiful blonde wife, and a cool young lad just living their best life. I'm the guy with the camera, beer game strong. Catch me in a scare maze, come scream along. News and reviews, I'm dropping the facts. Ride POVs and honest reacts. So follow the journey from scare to scream. Judventures, baby, let's live the dream.